Good morning, everyone. We're so glad you could join us for today's session on Dynamics SL, choosing your path forward. We are really thrilled to have you here today with us. And I know we don't have a whole lot of time, so I'll try to get through my piece really quickly here for you. Yes, today we are recording and you are going to get a copy of this webinar, as well as a nice resource that we have with some of our FAQs. So just real quick, a little bit about Boyer. Some of you may or may not know, we have been in the business for about 30 years now. Specifically, we started with Dynamics SL, so we are well in your world for sure. Based in Minnesota, but we are all across the US and in fact have a few consultants in Canada now as well. We've been growing. We have a lot of nonprofit clients, and probably most relevant to this conversation, we are in the top 5% of Microsoft partners taking clients to the cloud. So what makes Boyer different? I mentioned this a little bit already, but we are Microsoft centric. So for example, on today's session, you're not going to necessarily hear us talk about, oh, well, you can move to this solution or that solution. We're taking this kind of from that Microsoft perspective of, okay, you are on a Microsoft solution. Perhaps you want to stay on a Microsoft solution. Here's how you can do that. And as I mentioned, we are experts in ERP, specifically Dynamics SL. In fact, for those of you who don't know, Boyer itself was on SL until I think it was a year ago now that we moved to Business Central. So when I say we understand where you are, no joke. We loved SL. We understood the challenges of migrating, and we've also understand now the benefits of moving as well. So we can kind of help you figure out what that best fit is for you. We also do CRM now. That's kind of a newer one for us, but we've got an amazing staff that has really excelled in CRM and putting those two together. So if you're wanting to merge your ERP and SL, you can now, or I'm sorry, your ERP and CRM, you can now do that. And of course, as our managed services. So if you decide that you're wanting to migrate, we've got a quick start package that can help make that transition a little easier. If you're wanting to stay on SL and you're just needing support, we can of course help you there as well. And without much further ado, I'm going to introduce you to today's presenter. Lori Millington has been with Boyer for about 6 years now, but she's been working with the ERPs for more than 30 years. She really knows her stuff, and I am so excited to have her present to you today because she's got a great feel for, what your options are and how each of them can benefit you. So without further ado, Lori, I will give it off to you.
Thanks, Katie. Let's start with the agenda. Today, we're going to have the current state of Microsoft SL. Then we're going to talk about several options. Your first option, stay on SL. Second option, move SL to the cloud with Azure. Third option is migrate to Business Central. And then I am going to do a quick little, it's not actually a demo, but we're going to go through some slides showing you some features that I think are pretty fantastic in Business Central. And so then lastly, we'll go through the next steps. So the first thing with all our webinars, we always show you the Dynamics SL roadmap. I went out to try to find this, and this is the latest and the greatest, and you can see it's pretty outdated. And that's because Dynamics is getting to the end of life. So some important dates to remember for SL 2018, it was our last version, and it's currently on extended support. What does that mean? There's no more enhancements or features. There's security updates only. And extended support ends in July of 2028. Boyer, of course, will continue to support all versions of SL. And we know how great Rob is at doing that. So I think we can support you guys for a while now with Rob around. What are your options? Well, you have options. First, continue to use SL with your current servers. There's pros. Your users already know it. There's no training required. Immediate costs, there's no implementation costs. Cons, it's difficult, costly to stay current. There are no annual updates. Some of the tax updates we can do them manually, but if the IRS does a major change, we might not be able to make those updates. There's no security updates. Your SL system may become isolated, not supporting the new operating system or office apps. And then your IT staffing is going to be required to manage, maintain, and troubleshoot the aging servers and software. Option number 2, move SL to the cloud with Azure. Once again, your users already know the software. There's no training. There's no capital investment in the servers for SL, but there is a monthly cost for Azure services. IT staffing, no need to manage and maintain and troubleshoot legacy hardware. Scalable, Azure allows you to scale resources up or down based on demand. Cons, moving SL to Azure can be complex and time consuming. Difficulty costs, staying current. There's once again, no annual updates. We can still do those tax updates. And there's no security updates. And then your SL system may become isolated, not supporting the new operating systems or Office apps. Option 3, migrate to a cloud-based Business Central. Pros, Business Central is tightly integrated with Power BI, Excel, Outlook, Teams, Power Automate, Power BI, and other Microsoft apps. Microsoft is investing in a lot of Copilot. It analyzes lists. You can reconcile in your bank accounts. We're going to see a little bit of a demo of that later. The overall help and find, you can create marketing text and so much more with AI. Integrations. With Business Central, there's a new security feature. They're called APIs. They come right out of the box, and it integrates third-party systems directly into Business Central very securely and very easily. Stay current. Microsoft releases 2 major enhancements a year, and then there's a lot of minor enhancements and support throughout the year. Cons, migration costs. Migrating Dynamics SL to Business Central can be complex. And then of course your users are going to have to learn new systems. Okay, so next I want to show you some great features about Business Central. And this is when you click that link to get into Business Central. This is the page you land on. I always call it the home page, but it's actually called the Role Center. This particular role center is a business manager, so I see quite a bit more. But Microsoft delivers different role centers for, say, a warehouse user or an accountant. They won't see as much as I do on here. They'll see tasks on this screen that are more aligned with their role in the company. So let me take you through some pieces of the screen. Up here at the top, here's basically your modules. And then underneath that, there's a list of all the pages you can go to. In Business Central, you can bookmark your frequently used pages, and they would be found in here. And I've seen some clients with 3 or 4 rows of their frequently bookmarked pages. So when you come into your home page, you can just say, I'm going to Chart of Accounts, and you click right there, and you're in Chart of Accounts. Over here, there's actions. Actions are pages where you can enter a sales quote or enter a purchase quote. So instead of migrating through all the menus to get to it, you can just click on it here and add a purchase quote. And you could click here, go to the reports menu, or here later on, I'll show you a couple of these Power BI reports that come with Business Central, you can click here to run those. And then down here, you can have messages, headlines, and you can have activities. This is some key indicators that you may be wanting to keep an eye on, like how many overdue sales invoices you have. And then down below, these are called queues, and I call them like tiles, because like if your function is to maintain the ongoing purchase invoices, you just click on this queue right here, and that will take you into a queue where you can see the outstanding purchase invoices. You can do any changes, review them, and then post them right from this tile. So if these are all your tasks, all you have to do is click tiles and go in, and all your data is right there. The next, I want to show you the chart of accounts, because Business Central's chart of accounts is much more than just seeing your GL account number and name. In the general ledger, you can use the general categories and headers and total lines to make your chart of accounts actually look like your balance sheet. You can see right here your balances, your net change, and if you add a date filter, I have 12/31/24, and you can see when I added that, I have a balance at date column here that tells me what is that balance at that date. This is a game changer when you're doing your reconciliations in the middle of the month. You can always come to your chart of accounts and see what was my GL account at that date and time. And if that doesn't tie, you can click on this little link and go directly to the transactions that make up that dollar amount. So you don't have to go run another query and all that. It's right there in front of you. And then over here, as you can see, I have petty cash highlighted, and there's a note here. And it's telling, please use this account for petty cash only. Where does that a note? How do you get that note on there? That's on the GL account card. So the GL account card not only allows you to add notes, you can define, this is where you come in and you define your account category, your subcategory. You put income or balance sheet that drives your closed income statement. You can do it can define if it's posting account. You can make it a reconciliation account. Here's where you could turn direct posting off. This is great for your AP and AR. If you don't want your users doing general ledger entries directly to the AR or the AP, you can disable this. And so then all you get in that account is the system generated entries. And then here you can see, this is where you can add as many notes as you want on this account. And you can always click right in here to get right back to that account balance. And this is also where you would go up and you would add your dimension. Now, this would be adding your dimension rules to the accounts. Now, what is a dimension? In Business Central, dimensions are powerful tools that help you categorize, analyze your financial data. Some key benefits in using the dimensions is that they enhance your reporting. Dimensions allow you to group posted entries for more detailed reporting. For example, you can track sales by department, project, region, or salesperson. Simplify your chart of accounts. Instead of creating separate general ledger accounts for each category, you can use dimensions to categorize entries. This simplifies your chart of accounts and makes it easier to manage. Flexible analysis. Dimensions provides flexibility in analyzing data. You can filter totals by dimensions in the chart of accounts on the pages for entries, making it easier to generate specific reports. Accuracy. You can make dimensions required on any master data, like GL accounts, customers, vendors, fixed assets. And if you get incorrect dimensions on posted entries, you can correct them so your financial reports and your analysis remain accurate. And they're customizable. These are what was delivered with Kronos. You can use whatever you need in here. You aren't required to use these dimensions. You can make up your dimension list. And then, for example, this is just the dimension name and code. We're going to go over here and take a look. Here's where you add as many dimension values that you need for your financial system. Next, we're going to talk quickly about the general ledger or general journals, adding a journal. As you can see, we can still do your debits and credits. And here's where you can put your dimensions on those expense accounts. I also want to talk about, general journals. In Business Central, there's some versatility in posting. In a general journal, you can post financial transactions to various accounts, including general ledger accounts, bank, customer, vendor, employee accounts. This flexibility ensures that all types of financial activities can be accurately recorded. You can do reoccurring and standard journals. You can use reoccurring journals to manage entries that occur regularly, little or no change, such as monthly accruals. Standard journals allow you to save predefined entries that you can reuse, speeding up posting repetitive transactions. You can also, on a general journal down here in the incoming document file, there's an area where you can actually add backup documents that have come in at a line level in your general journal. Also, this screen is customizable. Each user can quickly drop this arrow down up here, the gear, and go to personalize, and they can move these columns around. They can hide them. They can customize this page to how they want to see it, and it will not impact any other users. So each user, and they can have it defined as to how they like to enter their journals. So there's a lot of different things you can do with this. You also have, Business Central does have approval workflows. You can set that up, and so people would have to, before they can post, they have to request approval, and an approver gets a message and they approve it, and then they can post it. Also, another thing to mention about this general journal page is you have this fact box that's showing here. That gives you your account names. No more having to remember, what is this account? You've got it right here. Or you've got your dimensions and the value of the dimension. And also you can do a edit in Excel. This takes it, pops it out into an Excel where you can edit your transactions. And then you can also do a cut and paste into your journal from an Excel spreadsheet. And the one I like the best, under this posted menu, this little drop down, you can do a preview posting. And that will show you how your accounting is going to flow. Say this was like a bank entry, or say a vendor ledger entry. You can do that pre-post preview posting, and it's going to show you what entries are going to your vendor ledger entry, what entry goes to your bank, and what entries are going to your GL. So you can decide if you're questioning, is this the right way? That will show you. It's the best feature I think Business Central has. Next, I want to show you some neat features about the general ledger entry page. There are filters. You can create filters for any field that's available on this table, and then you can save those views for a later time. If this is something that you do constantly, you'll want to put in your filters, save it, and then the next time you have to say filter on a GL account for a specific date range, you can come in, change the account number, and then change the date range. Let's see. Now, once you have all your filters applied here, the really neat thing I think about this is you can come right up here and you can export this out to Excel. And then you can do any analysis, you can do your totaling, also whatever you want to do in Excel. Now, in the last couple of years, there's an exciting feature that Microsoft has done, and it is create, if you click this button, it's going to take you to an analysis page in Business Central. And this is where you can almost do exactly what you're doing in Excel, but you can create a pivot table. In my example here, I've taken our data here and I've taken the GL account and the department code and the posting dates. And then I've got the values summarized for each one of these periods across the top. You can also use AI down here to create your analysis. And you can save these so you can reuse them over and over. You just click this button to add the new one. And so those are always available at your fingers. And it's repeatable all the time. So just in the last year, Microsoft has rolled out some pre-designed Power BI reports that you can set up and use with the Power BI license. And here is the financial one of the financial overview reports that it comes delivered with BC. And you can see it's pulling in the data that I have in my system, and there's not much more you need to do with it. And then you can do also with the sales app, you can get your sales reports as well. And let's see, the next step is I'm going to show you how to reconcile a bank account using AI technology. So the first thing you would do is you go to your bank reconciliations page and you see this little button right here. All you need to do is you need to click on this, and then it's going to bring up this box. And in here, we're going to choose their checking account. Now, one key feature that Business Central has is it has it works with a third-party software called Yodlee. And Yodlee will connect to quite a few banks, and you can link your Business Central to that page, to your bank account. And so then when you do your bank reconciliation, you can easily import your transaction data. We're in a demo system, so I am going to just pull the bank statement in from a file, which you can set up in Business Central. And then it takes you to this page and it says, okay, I've got your data here, your bank account, here's your statement date. Now I'm going to click the generate, and AI has gone through and it's auto matched 4 of my 7 lines. And then Copilot matched 1 of my lines. And down here, it shows me what Copilot matched. So whenever, if you haven't noticed, anything that's this bluish green, it's a quick link to other data. So we're going to take a look at what it matched. So here are the 2 entries that Copilot took 1 entry in my bank account and found these 2 entries that matched it, and it has linked those in to that bank line. So now I'm feeling good about this. So I'm going to say keep it. And here is my fully reconciled bank account. So now what? I'm going to turn it over to Katie for the rest of the slideshow.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lori. I appreciate being able to see all the different things that Business Central can do because it kind of gives you a feel for, okay, here's how I would do something in SL. Now, how could I do a similar function in Business Central? So that's very helpful. So yeah, in conclusion today, we just want to talk through again, you've got kind of 3 key options if we're looking at this from a Microsoft-centric perspective. You can, of course, stay on Dynamics SL for a little while longer. Your support is from Microsoft maybe going away, but Boyer is going to support you as long as we can. You can, of course, move your system to the cloud with Azure. Again, you're still using SL, so there's some of that support issues, but you do still retain your SL system and get some of the benefits of the cloud. Or, of course, you can explore migrating to Business Central. I did put in our chat here as well our own little customer story because, like I mentioned earlier, Boyer moved from SL to Business Central. So that is in your chat right now. And if you are interested in either talking to us about support or migrating to the cloud, just let us know. I did want to mention this as well because I know Microsoft has been sending email blasts to SL users for the last 6 months or so anyway, and they'll frequently mention all sorts of different programs. So if you've heard them talk about the AIM assessment, that's a one-time payment, roughly $1,500. I think it's not a lot, but it's kind of that little bit of an incentive to help you at least assess whether Business Central is even a good fit for your organization because it might not work for some people, right? The other one that they'll talk about a fair amount is the bridge to cloud. And that's the one where if you are current on your SL maintenance today, then you can be eligible for a pretty hefty discount on those Business Central licenses if you do want to try that. There are other programs available as well. And this is where Boyer can really help you kind of go through and decide, okay, what can you get from Microsoft? We can help you do that. We also, of course, have our own plans designed to help you make that transition a little more seamless and a little more affordable. And again, if you are interested in that assessment in particular, that is free. So this is something that Jeff Larson or someone on our team can help you go through your system and take a look at, what your system is today, what it would need to be like in Business Central, and kind of both the risks, challenges, benefits, all that for you to help you to decide, okay, what type of process would be the best fit? Is it easier to do kind of a lift and shift or a hybrid that's sort of on-premise, sort of cloud, or a re-implementation completely to Business Central? We can kind of take you through what your options are and what your risks or benefits would be with each of those. So thank you guys so much for joining today. I'm glad you could be a part of this, and we will be sending this recording to you out as well. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to let us know. We are here to help you. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day.